one of the nurses gave him a peanut butter sandwich, which he aspirated into his lungs and died. Now, the girl that did that was having an affair with the lieutenant that was on duty that same day. So the lieutenant tried to get people to change their paperwork, and, you know, I was fired during this. However, I know what happened. Hello?
Hey, this is Chille from Delete Lawz. How are you?
Good, how are you? I can recognize the voice.
Slowly but surely, I got a real bad cold right now.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
You know, all my calls are recorded. I may or may not air this, up to you. If you want to air it, we can. If you don't want to, we may not have to. But let's see what's going on with you. Are you in?
No, I'm in suburb of well, it's on the yes.
So, how long were you a deputy sheriff for?
15 years.
Wow. And you lost your job in 2020?
Yes, I did. I got, it's all bullshit. They really never liked me. So I worked in the jail for the first probably 10 years, and then I went into the court system, but as a sheriff deputy, peace officer, as you would say too. They think they're police officers, and they attempt all that shit all the time. I wouldn't play their game with the way they treated inmates and stuff. They used to get against me because they would want to know why I worked on a shift and I had no problems. And then the midnight shift would come in and people would flood and throw shit around. And the day shift, nobody could control them. But when I came on, it was perfect, and they thought I was giving them, you know, extra things and stuff. So I used to always get questioned for being a good deputy. I used to always get questioned of what I'm doing to be good. You know what I'm saying? And I never did anything wrong, but just listen to them, kind of like any person. You listen to them at first, and you feel who they are, and then you go from there. But they didn't like me, so they started supposedly following me around, and then they got anonymous tips that I was bringing drugs into the holding center, and they never ever came to me in the jail and questioned me, which they would do. I was there for 15 years. If somebody was bringing stuff in, you get caught in the jail or it never sticks. You know what I mean? You have to have it in the jail. So they never even questioned me in the jail. They started following me outside the jail. And then they pulled me over on the last day of their fake warrant that they strummed up and had a judge sign. They had one day left on the warrant, and I was leaving a friend's house, which is a suburb, and they followed me with undercover, and they pulled me over. Didn't tell me what was going on. They told me on camera that I was being arrested for abusing a female, and she's pressing charges on me. And I said, that's obviously not true. And I said, I'm not going anywhere until you bring her here. I said, why are you arresting me? And for that, I didn't bring her here and have her identify me. And, you know, they threw me in the back of the fucking Ford Explorer. I'm 270 pounds with cuffs behind my back and just treated me like shit. And what I got fired for was, I had marijuana in my car, and it was legal at the time too. And, I was 3 grams. And it was no big deal, and in my wallet was a bump of cocaine. It didn't weigh anything. It was a baggie, and I took blame for that, just like anybody that's ever been in trouble at the sheriff's department, usually alcohol or pills. And, you know, I stood up for the fact that I had that, and I went to, the rehab, and I did all the stuff I wanted to do, and they kept me out of work for 2 years without pay, and then they fired me after the court.
Well, hold on. You're skipping a lot of steps here. So I kind of got the nuts and bolts of it, so then you did the diversion for 2 years or whatever.
Yep.
And fired you after that. Okay? And were you working during that 2 years for the sheriffs?
No, they kept me out without pay, suspended without pay, so I couldn't get another job, and I couldn't work for them.
So help me understand this. So you sign up to be a sheriff 15 years ago, and how do you end up in the jail? Did you sign up to be a cop, or did you sign up to work in the jail?
In county, we have road patrol, and we have deputy sheriffs in the jail. And then we have corrections officers in the jail also. So the deputy sheriffs had to have police status so that they could handle unarraigned inmates. Someone that's not guilty or innocent yet is always innocent until guilty, so we had to be a police officer to handle those people in the jail, because we are.
You
go ahead.
And that means you get your peace officer's license, right?
Yes, which they took from they fired me.
You went to Peace Officer Standards and Training, or is it called something else up there?
That's what it is here, too, through the academy for the sheriffs.
All right. So then you know that you're going to be working in a jail, or was that what your aspiration was when you signed up?
You can pick the road. The only difference between the road patrol is they learn more penal law and vehicle and traffic law, where we didn't have to do that because we didn't work in the jail, or we didn't work on the road. We can transport them in police cars, but we can't pull people over and, arrest them for speeding or, whatever the shit they try to do anyway.
And what was your motivation to sign up to work in the jail?
I wanted to be somewhat in the police officer industry, but I didn't want to have to go out and arrest people and be a hypocrite if it was for drinking and driving and stupid stuff that every single person in the world has made a mistake and done before, I'm sure. And I didn't want to do that, so I figured this way I didn't arrest you. I just got to make sure you don't get hurt and you don't kill anybody in the jail and that you get what you deserve in the jail. And I was still doing my part, but I didn't. Go ahead.
Well, this goes back to, if it's 2024 now, this goes back to 2011. So you sign up to work in the jail in 2011.
No, 2007. 2007.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. You've been fired for a little while. Okay.
Yes.
I didn't go through the firing and the penalty phase. I was just counting your years working. So you signed up in 2007. And what was the name of the jail you started in 2007?
The County Holding Center.
And after the first year, how'd you stay? How do you stay there after 1 year?
There's every other state is different. You don't just work in the jail for a year and then go on the road. You are a jail deputy and you stay there 30 years.
Okay. So, but no, what I'm saying to you is, though, is after your first year, you said you didn't really fit in with the other guys working there. I mean, what do you see that first year, that second year? I mean, I call it a dungeon because I've been to jail in 5 or 6 different states. How do you square staying inside of there when you're seeing what you're seeing?
Because I feel I'm just a different person. Like, I feel if I can help one fucking person during I don't care if it's 30 years and maybe just, help somebody that needs some help, give them my ear, give them some advice, which I have done, and I have seen inmates outside of work that thank me very much. You know what I mean? So it was kind of, that part takes, the gratitude of that takes over all the stupid shit because I didn't get myself involved in that stupid shit as long as, you know what I mean? They would try to get me involved, but I used to always say, I write on my report what I saw, not what I'm told to write by anybody else. So if you'd like me to fill out a report, let's do it. If you'd like me to walk away, I walk away.
I see. And I'm sure you saw all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
And the guards are the ones bringing the drugs in. It's not the inmates. It's the guards.
Unfortunately, yeah. Little of the inmates, a lot of the guards. Yeah.
90 guards. 10% inmates, because they just can't get the quantity in that the guards can get in to make a...
Right. And through the years I've worked there, people have been fired for bringing stuff in, and every one of them that has been fired, there might be 3, 4, maybe even more, because you throw sex with inmates in there, and you lost a few more deputies through my career, too.
Male and female jail?
Yes.
Co-ed jail? Okay.
Yes. And, male, female officers also. But during the years that everybody that's been fired for bringing stuff in the jail, they come into the jail and catch them doing it in the jail or set it up where they're the ones giving them the package to bring into the jail. With me, none of that happened because I wasn't doing it. They couldn't do it that way.
But, I do understand that. So I get it. So you were the nice guard that people would be like, hey, he might help you.
Yeah, deputy chief. But yeah, they always call us by our
Yeah, get deputy.
Right. I'm not asking you to call me that. I'm just saying what they call me that. I don't shit like that get to my head.
just so I can understand exactly. But you're seeing it. You know which guards are bringing in drugs. You know which guards.
I can honestly say, and I'm not covering up for anybody. That aspect, no, I really never did see. You hear and you feel and you observe, but I never could actually say, because I guess whistleblowing is a huge thing with police. They don't do that. They're trained not to do that. You know that.
Right. That's
However, if somebody's bringing shit into a jail that could kill me or something, I would. I'd be like, that's it. Out of here,
Sure, if they're bringing in a gun,
right,
then that gun could kill you. But I'm talking about, and by the way, I've talked to dozens of cops and deputy guards, and I've talked to so many people about these stories. So I'm just reiterating what I've heard dozens of times from others. I just wondered how much you saw it, how prevalent it was. If you read the commissions that I've read, you read that violence is just a brand of being a deputy in a jail. It's just a regular brand. It's just an everyday brand. There's some sort of violence done every day to inmates. So I just don't know how far that went where you were. Was it killed in there? Or was it just some, guy got out of line, he had to get beat down a little bit?
There's a little bit of everything that has happened in that jail. And a lot of it is we were one of the worst rated jails in state for suicides in our jail, unexplained deaths in our jail during the regime that hired me, the sheriff that was in. There's a new sheriff since I've been fired, but he's...
We're going to get there, but hold on.
Okay.
Chronological order here.
All right.
I want to be able to understand your story. Because I want to be able to empathize with you, to be able to be on your side.
Right.
I know it happened, but I wasn't a part of it. And that's what I'm trying to get to, so that if people hear your story, they can say, well, there's out of 100 dentists, there's going to be 2 that stick their dick in women's mouths when they go to sleep. So you can't control everybody and everything. You can't control everybody and everything, but how much was the abuse, and how much was the sexual assault? How much was the drug dealing?
Just
so you know, no one's going to hear your name. No one's going to hear the state you're in. That's not how you get progress. You get progress by blanking out the names, the states, the dates, the locations, so that people will feel comfortable coming and telling me the truth. Because I don't want to. I'm not trying to go after the guys you used to work with. I'm trying to get your story.
Right. And the reason why I'm treading like I am treading is because
I can hear it, brother. I can hear it.
Yeah, I'm a straight shooter, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you about anything.
You're holding back though.
Right, I have to because
you know how many stories I've heard.
Yeah. I have a civil case with them that's open, and I will tell you the truth. The drugs really wasn't a huge part of our jail. Was it in there? 100%. I've never, and I'm not holding back on this. I'll tell you anything. I've heard about accidental murders and shit. Like I'll tell you shit like that. I'm not lying about the drugs. It wasn't a huge deal.
What do you mean an accidental murder? An accidental murder is like when someone's just getting beaten, they get beat too bad?
No. An inmate that was in our custody that was sick, and he was telling the guards he's got this and that, and he's got diabetes, and they were not letting him out, not giving him the needs that he needed. And then when he went into his diabetic coma, one of the nurses gave him a peanut butter sandwich, which he aspirated into his lungs and died. Now, I don't know if that's a wives' tale. I mean, the peanut butter and maybe the jelly would give him a little bit of kick, but you give him bread, the guy's having a seizure in a diabetic coma, going into a coma, feed him bread, and and the thing is the girl that did that was having an affair with the lieutenant that was on duty that same day. So the lieutenant tried to get people to change their paperwork, and I was fired during this. However, I know what happened. I mean, I just believe me. It's the paperwork went around. One sergeant stood up for himself and said, "I'm not writing that on the paper. That's not what happened," because he was trying to cover the girl that he was sleeping with, while he was married, and she, in turn killed somebody. And I do believe the coroner reported it a homicide because of the sandwich aspirating into the lungs, but nothing ever fucking happens over there. It's so corrupt. I mean, nothing happens. You can go, I put that in my civil lawsuit, and nothing's even happened yet.
So first year, second year, third year, in those first few years, how many people do you know of who die in the jail, and you think to yourself, they wouldn't have had to die had we just got them the care they needed, or had they just got their shot, or they just got their medication, or if you just let them get some water.